muggy Monday night in Atlanta. The Dodgers are in town. One of the hottest hitting teams in Major League Baseball. Adrian Gonzalez and the Los Angeles Dodgers face off with A.J. Pierzynski and the Braves in Game 1 of a 3-game showdown tonight here at Turner Field. Hi again, friends, along with Hall of Famer Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey, welcome to the ballpark. The Braves and Dodgers at different spots in their respective divisions. The Dodgers are in first out west, Braves with 43 wins. But, Tommy, these teams at first glance a little more similar than the standings might indicate.
Yeah, they really are. And starting with transactions, both of these clubs have made an awful lot of transactions this year. 93 for the Dodgers, 96 for the Braves. You see the number of pitchers used, 26 for the Dodgers, 30 for Atlanta. Team ERA since June the 17th, pretty similar. So all those things have been pretty similar throughout the course of the year. Unfortunately, Joe, that's where the similarities end.
Yeah, and those comparisons to the Dodger pitching staff are really good. And for the batting averages for these two teams, they're similar too. But then the home runs. The Dodgers have hit more home runs than anybody in the National League. Their runs per game a lot higher, and their extra base hits way higher. So tonight, the big key for Matt Whistler and his start, keep the ball in the ballpark.
An old friend, Brandon Beachy, gets the ball for the Dodgers. His second start since coming back from his second Tommy John surgery. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Atlanta, and it's a special day for former Dodger and current Braves broadcaster Don Sutton. He was enshrined in the Braves Hall of Fame, and we'll talk about that and continue from Turner Field right after this.
Hope this Braves team can find some offense after running into a couple of tough pitchers from the Cubs the last two nights. And speaking of tough pitchers, one former pitcher had a pretty special day today as Don Sutton, who is already a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, today was inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. So Don able to join the likes of some pretty impressive folks. You see his plaque there, Ted Turner on hand, all the Hall of Famers. Bobby Cox, Chipper Jones, and Don Sutton. Now amongst that group of, as I mentioned, already a Hall of Famer as a player. And he talked about how special it was to now be one as a broadcaster.
His proud Southern heritage and upbringing, his baseball knowledge, his Hall of Fame pitching career allowed Don to develop what I believe is a very special and strong connection with you, the fans, not only here, but all throughout Braves country.
When Mr. Sherholtz called me, I have to tell you, I was stunned. And John said to me, I think it's the first time I've ever heard you speechless. And that's true, because it never entered my mind. Look on the back of your lunch tickets. Those are Braves Hall of Famers. It never entered my mind that my name would be on that list. All I ever thought about was my job to make sure you knew about those names that were on that list. So a wonderful and terrific surprise, and one that I will always treasure.
It's been a special day for Don Sutton. We hope to chat with him in the game. Be sure to stick around. But, of course, we've got a great baseball game coming your way as well. Dodgers are in town. Chip, Joe, and Tom will have the call when we come back.
Well, just when you feel like you catch a break and not have to face Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke, you've got to face this hot-hitting Dodgers ball club, a team that's hit 115 home runs and has outscored their opponents by 67 runs this season. Into that fray comes young Matt Wisler, who looks to earn his 4th big league victory tonight.
Five starts on the year, 3-1, and pitched extremely well here at Turner Field. 2-0 with an 0.68 ERA. So hopefully that will continue and get this homestand going in a better direction.
4 keys for pitching success tonight for Matt Wisler. Number 1, the aforementioned home runs. He's got to keep the ball in the ballpark tonight at all costs. And the stretch. This team is dead last in the National League in stolen bases. I wouldn't worry too much about runners at first base when they do reach. Work on those hitters and try to limit your mistakes.
And try to keep this kid in the ballpark. Jock Peterson with 20 home runs and 40 RBIs. And Whistler's first of the night is downstairs. 92 humid degrees, and the wind blowing across the diamond from left to right. And That's outside. Peterson leading off. Howie Kendrick second. Adrian Gonzalez, also at 20 homers, is the third place hitter. Keep an eye on Justin Turner. He's a Braves killer and is the Dodgers third baseman and cleanup man. And Peterson, a fly ball to right. That'll chase Markakis back. He's got it. And we're underway. 1 out.
Ooh, Peterson's got a little Bryce Harper in him.
Really?
Yeah, he ran halfway to first and decided that was enough. I didn't know he was like that. That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Here's Howie Kendrick. And Whistler pumps over a strike. Numbers for the former Los Angeles Angel, Howie Kendrick. And that one's hit hard to short. Ball stayed down. Might have caught the lip of the grass. Whistler gets a second quick out. Look at the Braves lineup defensively. A little different look on the infield. It's brought to you by CPI Security. It'll be Joey Terdoslavich getting the start for the Braves at first base. Kelly Johnson with flu-like symptoms today, so he gets the night off. Yuri Perez, Cameron Maybin, Nick Markakis left to right in the outfield, and the Iron Man AJ Brzezinski is back behind the plate. This is Adrian Gonzalez. 20 homers, 58 RBIs. He knocked in 116 runs for the Dodgers last year. And that's taken low, ball 1.
Don Mattingly's club got off to a bit of a slow start, but they're in stride now. They won 7 of their last 10.
Seem to be a notoriously slow starting team.
That's off the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
They are a good second half team, though. 87 and 49 in the second half since 2013. So they've seemed to figure things out this part of the year.
That ball stroked hard toward left center field, but Maybin's going to get there. And Whistler has a 1-2-3 top half of the first inning. Brandon Beachy back to a familiar mound, this time in a Dodger uniform. No score. .49 on the year. Got to get the bats going. It's been a struggle without Freddie Freeman in the lineup of late. Chase Peterson gets things started. Maybin, Markakis, Brzezinski the top 4. Former Dodger Juan Uribe bats 5th. You see the bottom part of the Academy Sports and Outdoors lineup, and they'll face an old friend, Brandon Beachy, tonight.
Brandon Beachy coming off Tommy John surgery, making his second start on the year. Lost hhis last time out against the Brewers. And for a guy that's trying to get his feet on the ground here a little bit, this might be just what he needed. You see 23 career starts at Turner Field as a Brave. 7-4 with a 3.35 ERA. So see if that gives him some confidence tonight.
Beachy's night is underway with the ball up and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
If I'm not mistaken, guys, quite a coincidence. I think Chris Medlin makes his first start back tonight too.
Yeah, I believe he does.
For Kansas City, after they had re-injured their elbows a day apart.
And that's taken low. 3 balls, no strikes. Well, you know the Brandon Beachy story, a remarkable one. The Braves saw him playing third base, pitching late in ball games. Brave scout Gene Carnes saw him, signed him for $20,000. He made his big league debut in the heat of a pennant race against the Phillies in Philadelphia. Pitched terrifically, but 2 Tommy John surgeries sidetracked his career, and he's just now back for the Dodgers. And he gets one hit toward Kendrick at second, and makes a marvelous play to rob Jace Peterson. There's out number 1.
This Dodger ball club is the best defensive team in terms of errors in the National League. They've only made 38 errors as a team. The next highest number is 43, so they've got a little margin between them and the next best fielding percentage. Kind of nice when you've got that kind of number behind this excellent starting staff.
You bet. Here's Cameron Maybin. He's hitting 12 of 14 July games. And Beachy got a belt high strike. That's low and outside, even count.
Brandon's fastball now 88 to 92, somewhere in that vicinity, with a good changeup and that good hook of his.
And he just showed it off.
Yeah, apparently that was a little bit of his issue, according to the Dodger guys. His first time out was the command of his secondary pitches, which you figure is going to take time.
One ball, 2 strikes. And that one's smacked into center. Cameron Maybin with a 1-out hit.
Don't know much about Austin Barnes as catcher tonight, but he's making only his 3rd major league start. So it'll be interesting to see if they worked well together tonight. Again, on the breaking ball, base hit for Maybin, where they could have played together in Oklahoma City in a couple of his rehabs, which might make both of them a little more comfortable.
The Dodger catching core is really banged up. A.J. Ellis was placed on the disabled list with a knee problem, and Yasmani Grandal got hit in the jaw with a foul ball. He thought his jaw was broken. That not the case as Maybin's running. The pitch, a ball. The throw to second is late. Maybin held the bag. Rollins smothered the ball at second base, and Cameron has his 16th stolen base.
And they tested young Barnes right away. Good crossover. Well, that knee of Rollins is what caused a little hitch in that slide. Jimmy put his knee down right in front of him.
I think the Dodgers were thinking a minute about challenging that, but I don't know if they were thinking that Cameron didn't stay on the bag, but he's still jiggling that thumb a little bit out there. He's not comfortable.
1-0 count for Nick Markakis. And that's high to the Braves right fielder.
Does it look like his left thumb, Tom? Or wrist?
Right thumb. Well, yeah, I guess left.
Because that's the hand he jammed right into his leg.
Yeah.
Yep, he's pulling on those fingers. Markakis drives one to center. Peterson back toward the infield. Look at that ball carry. She's gone. Nick Markakis has hit his first home run of the year. And the Braves have jumped in front 2-0.
Well, why not? First one of the year, hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Yeah. And the guy who fooled the most may have been Peterson, who was playing shallow and just kept running after it.
Ball carries a little bit better here this time of year than it does in LA.
I saw Nick in the bat storeroom today. He was looking at some new bats. Maybe he got a new shipment that's working. Gosh, first inning runs. How nice.
Changeup maybe, I think.
Yeah, could have been.
So a long home run to straightaway center. Johnny Gomes will take good loving care of that lucky bat. And now AJ, a bouncing ball up the middle. Rollins ranges to the first base side of the second base bag to get the Atlanta catcher. And there's the second out. So here's former Dodger Juan Uribe. That was an odd 48, 72 hour period when the Braves were in Los Angeles. The on again, off again trade of Alberto Callaspo to Los Angeles finally wrapped up before the final game of the series at Dodger Stadium. Ian Thomas, Eric Stoltz also went to Los Angeles. And you see what Juan has done in 43 games with the Braves. That's just the offensive work, guys. He's really played a solid third base.
But a good pickup for sure.
And caught a corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Alberto. And here's the pitch to Uribe.
Just a little bit short.
Beachy, one of 26 different Dodgers to throw a pitch in competition this year. And there are some who say, even with the great tandem of Kershaw and Greinke, one thing the Dodgers are in need of is another starter. Rumor had it they had scouts watching Cole Hamels last start. But so did 3 or 4 other
Sure they weren't the only ones.
2-2 pitch. And that stayed off the plate. Full count. Joey Turdoslavich is waiting next. And he's coming to the plate. Beachy with a 2-out walk.
I've always wondered, Tom, and I know that I'm saying this to you knowing that you never had Tommy John surgery, but those guys, especially a guy that's had his second, there's got to be some point where you just trying to kind of buggy whip that pitch. You don't really want to get extended like you used to.
Well, I'm sure your first couple times out there, you know, like you're kind of throwing everything with a little bit of apprehension. You know, and I think that's true of any guy that's coming off of an injury, but you know, because that trust factor of if I let it go, is it going to hurt? You know, that's always you always have to overcome that. But I would imagine that a guy going on second Tommy John, as young as Brandon is, there's got to be even a whole lot more of that.
Yeah.
That ball stroked to straightaway center. Peterson on the run is going to get there. And that will retire the side. Well, a history-making day today in Atlanta. Yeah, Nick Markakis is on the board. His first home run as a Brave to straightaway center, and also brought home Cameron Maybin. After 1, 2-0, Braves lead the Dodgers.
and your local Ford dealer.
Pretty night in Atlanta at Turner Field. Great statue of Henry Aaron. Outside in Monuments Grove. And inside the ballpark, Nick Markakis with his first home run since last September 25th has given Matt Whistler a quick lead. Justin Turner gets things started and takes a strike from the young Braves right-hander.
Of course, the regular playing time has really paid dividends for this guy. He's kind of a platoon player with the Mets, and now all of a sudden he's the everyday third baseman and cleanup hitter for the Dodgers.
He was playing so well, Juan Uribe was expendable for him.
Yeah.
So good for Justin. He's right on top of the plate. Big high leg kick. And he's got a base hit to start the inning.
It's a little different stance and a little different leg kick for him than we saw in New York. So he's made some changes. And changes for the better, I'd say.
Trying to go in, down, and in with that fastball. Left it over the plate a little bit.
So one on, nobody out for Andre Ethier. Ethier's hit 10 homers. He's knocked in 33. He had a big series against the Braves out in LA. Had 4 hits and knocked in 4 runs.
Well, this is where the second key comes into play, the stretch. Again, they are last in the league in stolen bases. Turner's 1 out of 2. And they've got too many guys in the lineup that can hit home runs, that if you pay too much attention to the base runner and make a mistake at the plate, it's going to cost you.
No balls and a strike for Ethier. And back to the screen. Well, even if the Dodgers think about stealing, you'd have to wonder why. Not just because of the home run power. They have 19 steals, but they've been caught 23 times. That's not a very good percentage.
No, it's not.
No, a team like this, from a pitching standpoint, just pay attention to them a little bit. Let them know you're paying attention. You're not going to just completely forget about them. But like you say, don't overdo it and take your focus away from what you need to be doing, which is making good pitches.
Ethier held up that ball in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I like these numbers, Tom, for Whistler. Base is empty. He's got a high average against him because he's trying to throw strikes and get the hitter to put the ball in play. After that, he really buckles down.
No, if you're making good pitches and having those kinds of numbers when you get guys on base, that's certainly a good sign. And I think you're right. The base is empty number lends itself because, yeah, he's getting after guys and making them put the ball in play.
Ethier had himself a good series against the Nationals. He had 5 hits. Batted 4th for the first time yesterday. Tonight he's batting 5th for the Dodgers. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joking with some of the Dodger personnel in the press box. For them, tonight's a much cooler night. Heat index of 107 yesterday in Washington. On-field temperature 98 degrees and oppressively humid. It's hot in Atlanta, but not that hot tonight.
Well, they're going to get some of that on Wednesday, probably.
Yeah.
Here comes the 2-2. And Ethier hits a fly ball to center. And Maben says he's got it, and he does. There's the first out. And now Yasiel Puig bats. Puig has played in just 46 games this year for the Dodgers. 4 homers and 18 runs batted in. Week knocked in a couple of runs in 5 trips to the plate, but also struck out 4 times yesterday. He's going to pop out on the first pitch here, and like Jock Peterson, goes halfway down the first base line and carries the bat with him. There's the second out.
I guess it's an energy conservation thing. I don't know.
Saving the bat boy some work.
Yeah. That of the pine tar was so good that it just couldn't let go of it.
There's Jimmy Rollins. 2,373 lifetime hits for the former Philly in his first season with the Dodgers. From an offensive standpoint, it's been a disappointing year for him. Shocking to see Jimmy Rollins hitting .206 in late July.
A lot of talk about him being moved at the deadline or before.
Whistler a strike. It's also odd seeing Rollins hitting 7th. All those years with the Phillies, he was at the top of the batting order and a real spark plug.
And in the top 3 or 4 in a lot of offensive categories career-wise against Atlanta.
Towering fly to right. Markakis has that one tracked down well shy of the track. He's got it in the corner. And Turner's leadoff single leaves him stranded at first in the top of the second.
First home run. Andrelton Simmons told me earlier, we've got to find a way to generate offense without Freddie Freeman, who's been out for a month. But today, Freddie Freeman feeling as good as he has since being sidelined with that right wrist injury. Now, he took some dry swings yesterday, meaning no ball involved, but he was out there today. He got in the cages as well, hit a couple off the tee, a couple rounds of soft toss, a lot of thumbs up, which has got to be a good sign. Took some more ground balls, and it sounds like, fellas, Freddie could be getting back here sooner than we expected. And he was saying, Freddie Gonzalez said Freddie was pushing him, trying to get in the lineup tonight. That's not going to happen. They want to get him a few at-bats, a few games first, but that could be starting very soon.
Boy, is that encouraging or what?
Really good news. Can't get him back soon enough.
Yuri Perez leads off for the Braves in the second and takes the strike. Perez had the game-winning hit against the Cubs here on Friday night. A bases loaded single to right field against Pedro Strop. And that's upstairs. Yeah, Johnny Gomes talked about that possibility of Freddie Freeman coming back. He said, boy, what a breath of fresh air that'll be. What a lift for the Braves offense. Ground ball towards second. Kendrick's got it. There's the first out. We know the Braves aren't going to hit a lot of home runs. The Markakis blast tonight notwithstanding. This is a team that has to put together innings with walks, high on base percentage, and stacking together their singles and such. But look at the difference in runs per game for this Braves ball club without Freddie Freeman. And what Johnny Gomes said was, you don't appreciate how good he is until he's been gone as long as he has been.
Well, I think he makes everybody else better, you know, and you've got a real major league professional hitter in that 3 spot every night, giving you great at bats and battling pitchers. I think it rubs off on a lot of guys.
No, there's no question about it. And you know, it's like so many other situations where that happens. You start dominoing guys and getting them into situations where they're not accustomed to hitting in those situations or those slots in the lineups. And I know it sounds simple sometimes to the folks at home, but you know, for a lot of these guys, there's a big difference between hitting second or hitting third or fourth. And you know, a guy like Freddie can do it night in and night out.
Foul back by Everson Simmons. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wind still blowing out toward right. And Simmons took a shot that way and fought it off.
Just looking at Beachy's rehab starts, 4 of them in fact did come at Oklahoma City. So he and Barnes definitely have worked together. 18 2/3 innings total of rehab, 18 hits, 10 walks.
There's a bolt toward left. That's going to get down in front of Ethier. And Everson Simmons has a much needed base hit. Only his 11th in his last 66 big league at bats.
See, I love this. This is how you hit a high pitch. High target. They're trying to get him to chase. And he got up on top and leveled off on that pitch. He didn't go up to it.
I think that's one of the things that'll be interesting to see for Brandon as he continues to go. If memory serves me, when he was here and he was healthy, that was a pitch he got an awful lot of swings and misses on, was that high fastball.
Had a little more juice on it then. He was more in the 93, 94 range.
Let's see how Whistler fares if he can lay down a bunt. And that one at 88 miles an hour was fouled away. Strike 1. You both weren't here for the Cubs series. It was fascinating to talk to Joe Maddon about how differently he runs his offense. Their first pitcher sacrifice bunt this year came on June the 13th. They had 2 as a team going into the weekend series here in Atlanta.
Well, an American League coach and manager for so many years, maybe it took him that long to realize that it was his pitcher that was hitting.
Maybe. Maybe, but his philosophy was, I'd rather have my pitcher hitter strike out or hit into a double play than have to stay out and run the bases in the heat of the summer.
Well, if they get their bunts down, they don't have to do that.
Well, got to take into account who's running in front.
Hey, true.
Is what Maddon was saying as that one's fouled away.
Well, look, I mean, we had a few of those years where, you know, with all due respect, Eddie Perez isn't the fleetest of foot guy either, you know, and we could get him over from time to time on a bunt. And I mean, maybe they should practice their bunting a little more. I mean, I'm just saying.
It was just a fascinating thing to watch, especially with the pitcher hitting 8th for the Chicago team. Something to follow as the summer moves along. As that one just missed low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they stay around the periphery of this whole playoff thing.
Right.
And runs become a premium night in and night out. We'll see how that philosophy changes over time.
That one's popped up, and Adrian Gonzalez has an easy play. And Simmons at first with 2 outs. Good play by the Dodger first baseman. He anchors the infield defensive lineup presented by CPI Security. Turner, Rollins, Kendrick also on the infield. Barnes, the rookie catcher. Got to keep an eye on Yasiel Puig. He's got a cannon for an arm at right. Jock Peterson's in center, and Andre Ethier throws well too. He's now in left.
Told you about their good defense. The most errors by any one position player is 7. Turner and Rollins each have 7 on the left side.
Jace Peterson trying to bunt, and that's foul. Strike 1. Howie Kendrick robbed Peterson of a leadoff hit to start the Braves game. So Jace is 0 for 1. Like Anderson Simmons, Jace could use a few hits. Dating back to June 20th, Peterson has 14 hits in his last 88 at bats.
Got to start using the whole field. That batting average and that stretch of games would change overnight if you not try to pull quite as much. I love the swing his last at bat yesterday when he hit the double into right center.
Was in the last at bat of the game for Peterson in the Atlanta 8th. Boy, was Jake Arrieta good for the Cubs yesterday. Ooh. Picked up his 11th win. 1-2 and fouled off the catcher. We'll do it again.
Yeah, he's got some nasty stuff.
Cubs are in Cincinnati tonight. They open up a 4-game series with the Reds. The Nationals are home to the Mets. That's a huge series. And Washington has struck first. They lead 2-0 after 1 at Nationals Park. Here it's 2-0 Braves on a Nick Markakis first inning homer. His first home run of the year. And a swing and a miss. And that'll retire Jace Peterson. No runs, a hit, a man left. Bottom part of the order up for the Dodgers. We go to the third. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SouthDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Now, is that like a strong man competition, or somebody who paints their face up, wears the Braves jersey, and is rooting and going to Cooperstown to watch John Smoltz get inducted next week?
I don't know.
Strongest fan. Okay.
Maybe it's your best fan photo, or if you are a strong fan, you could send in your best Arnold Schwarzenegger pose picture. Austin
tweet it up.
Pops it up. Jace Peterson drifts out, makes the play, and the Dodger catchers retire. There's out number one.
I look out there, that spooked me, because I'm watching Maben. I thought the ball was hit a little deeper than that, and Cameron wasn't looking up, and I thought, oh no, that's going to hit him in the head. I didn't realize Jace was under it. I'm glad it didn't.
Here's Brandon, 0 for 1 at the plate. I'm really rooting for this kid to come back and come back strong.
Yeah, I'm with you. Good kid.
Smart kid.
Yep. Just hate to see anybody suffer with injuries, but particularly at this young age.
Yeah, if he's 34 years old, 35, you might say, okay, you know what? You gave it a shot. Way to persevere and try. He's 28. He won't be 29 till I think September or October. So he's got a lot of games left in him. I just want him to have a chance to stay healthy and see what he can do.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Base is empty. 1 out. Whistler looking good. He's allowed only 1 hit.
That was a good breaking ball.
You just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
267 innings as a Braves pitcher. He struck out 275 hitters.
And he hit that ball hard, but right at Perez, and Uri makes the play. There's the 2nd out. Boy, the more you see Matt Whistler, the more impressed you are by this young right-handed pitcher. He's been great here in Atlanta, and the job he did at Coors Field makes me think, fellas, if you can pitch like that at Coors Field, you can pitch well just about any place.
Oh, there's no question. And I think he has, he has the kind of game that's really not all that affected by Coors Field. He pitches off his fastball, doesn't rely too heavily on his breaking ball, and that I think that's the way you have to pitch out in Coors Field. But I love him. I love how his delivery. I love how he goes about it. And I love the fact that, unlike a lot of guys that we see in today's game, he's not a max effort guy. Moving the ball around, changing speeds, both sides of the plate. I think he's going to be good.
And the 2 runs he gave up at Coors Field were in the 1st inning. A 2-run homer to Cargo. Braves got solo homers that day from Uribe and Lavarnway.
Two and 1 to Jock Peterson, who comes in with 72 hits this year. 36 singles, 36 extra base hits.
Wow.
And 59 walks.
And tops in the National League in strikeouts at 112.
It's just another out.
Not getting cheated.
To short. Simmons a step or 2 to his right. Peterson ran hard that time, but he can't outrun the baseball. Another perfect inning for Matt Whistler. He's through 3 with the lead, and the heart of the Braves orders coming up with a 2-run lead. Georgia native Sam Hunt will perform after the game Thursday, October 1st for a free post-game concert. That's brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Tickets for the ball game are sure to go quickly. Get them now. Braves.com/concerts.
Chan just gave him 2 thumbs up.
I might stay for that one.
Love Sam Hunt.
Let's see how Cameron Maybin's hand is feeling. It's the bottom hand, the left hand, that he jammed on the knee of Jimmy Rollins on his stolen base back in the first inning. He was pulling on that hand while he was running the bases. And he came home ahead of the Nick Markakis homer to center.
He was swiping second base, and Jimmy throws that left knee down. Cameron rammed his fingers right into the knee. Boy, that had to hurt.
Upstairs, 3 balls, no strikes. Markakis is next. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Braves early tonight. Took a little off and got that one over for a strike. His fastball 88-89 so far. And he's ready for his 45th pitch of the game. And right there for a full count.
I'll say this about him. I said a couple years ago when I saw him pitch for the first time, if you got a kid at home and you want to teach him how to pitch and teach mechanics, these are about as simple as it gets.
Maybin drives one toward right center. Peterson on the run, still going, and at the last moment reaches up and picks it off in front of Yasiel Puig, who was charging over from right. What a running catch by Jock Peterson to make the play and not get intimidated by the footsteps of Puig.
This took some courage. Another high pitch from Beachy gets hit hard. Peterson plays shallow, but it looked like right here he was yet waving that he was going to get it. I'm sure he was calling for it too. But that takes some courage to go ahead and finish that play with that big guy in right field bearing down on you.
Yeah, that would have been real easy to peel off a little bit right there.
Marvelous catch by Jock Peterson. So 1 out. Markakis the batter. I asked Nick before the game, how you feeling? I mean, no homers, hot summer, new team. He said it's really tough when you don't have an off season. And by that, Nick meant he had the off-season neck surgery, and once that took place, he couldn't work out. He couldn't do his normal preseason physical preparation, and as a result, I'm guessing it's tough for him to keep his strength up playing every day in the Georgia heat and humidity.
Yeah, it's different playing here in the summer. That takes some getting used to.
Strike 3. Markakis waited a moment, didn't think much of that call. Beachy has his second strikeout. Where was this?
Barnes set up away, and that never really had the plate at all on our PNC Bank Fox tracks.
Two outs for A.J. Pierzynski. We have kind of a mixed review on that last strike call here in the booth. The hitter thought it was way outside. The pitcher loved the call.
Loved the call. I'm not saying it was a strike.
I'm just saying that with all of the technology we have available to us, when you see it.
Yeah, I hear you. It's not a strike.
Okay.
1-1 for A.J. Pierzynski. That one a strike. Good pitch. One of his best fastballs. That one at 90.
Seems like he's throwing a little bit more over the top than he used to.
to center and playable for Peterson. He's got it. And we are through 3 in Atlanta. 2-0 Braves. Nick Markakis is homer. All the offense Matt Whistler's needed so far.
Back to the wall is Jordan. It's out of here. We're tied. Welcome to Atlanta, Fred McGriff.
You guys were here for one of those unforgettable moments of 50 years of Atlanta Braves baseball back in 1993.
I remember I was pitching that night and didn't do so hot, but I remember being downstairs watching video and hearing there was a little fire. I remember when I came outside, I was like, oh my God, that's a little bit more than a little fire.
I was starting those were back in the days when we switched mid-game between radio and TV, our crew, and I started on television that night. So I took my briefcase before the game and put it down on radio because that's where I'm going to wind up. Well, when this fire started, the black smoke that filled the press box was scary, but I ran down low and got my briefcase, and everybody was hustling out of the press box because of the smoke. We had no idea that the flames were going to develop into what they were developing into. And then I remember being down on the field, and Ted Turner and Jane Fonda were there, and everybody was looking up in the press box and seeing what we just saw on the videotape. And I remember Jane Fonda said, "Oh my, that's where you work, isn't it?" Yes.
Yeah. But it wasn't where you worked that night, quite obviously.
No.
You had a makeshift broadcast facility set up, right?
That was one of the best nights ever for
really?
that. It's one of my best recollections of your dad. In that, Ted insisted that the game go on and that we televise. I mean, it was not going to affect anything on the field, but he insisted that we televise this game and show everybody that we can persevere and overcome this minor setback. So,
fly ball center. Maben drifts back. Kendrick hit hard, but not hard enough. 1 out.
We slid over to what would today be the club level that was adjacent to the press box, and just set up folding tables without the legs folded down on top of chairs in front of us, chair backs. And your dad was so fired up and excited because it was like, this is going to be fun. Let's see what we can do here. Let's do the game from over here. It was just different. And Skip was like leading the charge and trailblazer. Let's get this thing on the air.
I can see him now. As Adrian Gonzalez stands in.
Yeah, I think that night, I think literally we caught fire, as did the stadium that night. I think that after that when we got Freddie, we went on an unbelievable run and had a great second half.
There's another hard hit ball. This one caught by Markakis. Gonzalez is 0 for 2.
And one of the funniest photos of all time came out of that night, and you'll not be the least bit surprised by who it is. There they are, the two knuckleheads, Blouse, Lemmer, and no, those were not firefighters' goggles that Lemmer had on. Those are what he actually wore. And as he likes to say, he was the best legally blind hitter in the history of the game.
Oh. Well, that was an unbelievable race, wasn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
1993?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we were out of gas by the time we faced the Phillies in the playoffs. But
by the way, that photo was taken by the late, great Walter Victor also.
I have one of those hanging at home.
So a great moment in Braves history. Just across the way at the old ballpark, Yuri Perez dived but couldn't hang on. And Turner's credited with his second hit. 3 hard hit balls. That one, though, a sinking line drive.
Yeah, and Yuri's defense, I think, coming off the bat, that looked like one of those that was going to just nosedive into the ground, and then all of a sudden it hung up a little bit for him and couldn't quite get there. Yes, you did start that game, Tom, but you got no decision.
Yeah, I just got it behind early so I could set up the dramatics for Freddie later.
Blauser did hit a home run in that game. 3-run homer.
There's a strike.
In fact, it was the same inning as McGriff's home run that gave the Braves the lead.
Wow. Well, hope Freddie and Blouse are watching the game tonight.
Yeah.
Think of those guys often. And a pitch, a strike. 0-2 for Andre Ethier. Got the big alumni weekend coming up next month when the Marlins are in town. Hope both those guys will be here. Got the big softball game on Saturday. Dale Murphy said he's going to play. You know, Smoltzy's going to play.
Well, speaking of Braves alumni, and the guy we just talked about in center field that McGriff hit the home run over, Brian Jordan that night also had a good night. 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. He had a double. In fact, he had 2 doubles.
Should have drilled him after the first one.
Nothing in 2, just past 8 o'clock here in Atlanta. 2-0 Braves lead it. First inning homer from Nick Markakis. And now Whistler with a 1-2 count. Joe mentioned the Dodgers and their positioning out west, 3.5 games in front of the Giants, who've caught fire again. I beg your pardon. Is there a more streaky team this year than the Giants?
It doesn't seem to be.
Riding a 6-game win streak again. Hunter Pence is back and healthy. And the Giants play in San Diego later on tonight.
It's hard to imagine, though, with that team is as good as their starting rotation is, that they would have so many of these ebbs and flows. I mean, it's strange.
Padres starting to make a move. They're 43 and 49, 9.5 games out of first. San Diego's won 4 consecutive games. And that one blooped into shallow center. That's going to get down in front of Maben. Took a tricky bounce, but he stayed with it. And Ethier earns his first hit of the night. And the Dodgers have some 2-out trouble here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time was that high pitch, and really kind of fortunate that got in around the brand. I don't know when the last time was that the Padres and the Angels got rained out in the same weekend, but that's a rarity.
Yeah.
Angels are playing a doubleheader tonight with the Red Sox.
And they're clobbering them in game 1. It's 11-1 Angels in the first game of that doubleheader. The reason I brought up the Padres, all the changes they made, they thought they were going to be a real force in the West. They still very well could be. First the pitch to Puig. And it's out of play. The Padres in the middle of a very soft stretch of their schedule. Of their next 31 games, only 6 of those games will be against winning teams. So if San Diego's going to make a run, from now until mid-August might be their best shot. Strike one to Puig. He flied out his first time up. Strike outside corner. Good pitch.
Good pitch. And it was. PNC Bank said so. Chan said the last rain out for the Angels at home was June of '95.
I don't think I ever saw it rain seriously in San Diego. The whole time I ever went out there, I don't think I ever saw it rain.
Maybe misty.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the marine layer or whatever, but no rain.
You go there and you think, why do they even need a tarp? It never rains out here.
Well, with all the drought conditions, you will not hear a single complaint.
Nope.
About all the rain they got yesterday. Here it's 0-2 for Puig. And he tried the inside corner and just missed. Good try. 1-2.
That's one of the things I've liked about this guy too, Tom, is his willingness to pitch inside.
No, he pitches to both sides of the plate, uses all his pitches. And even though he's not a flamethrower in today's game, pitches off his fastball. I love it. I love seeing that, doubling up. Thought that was the perfect pitch. I like he took that pitch before like he had no intentions of looking for that pitch whatsoever. So come back with it.
Turner with a single to left. Ethier with a bloop hit to center. Both of those singles came with 2 outs. And Puig spoils another. That went at 94 miles an hour from Matt. Whistler part of that big haul from the Padres. Cameron Maybin, Carlos Quentin, outfielder Jordan Parobeck, and a competitive balance pick for Craig Kimbrell and Melvin Upton Jr. Off the end of the bat, and Peterson will fire to first in time. And Whistler is out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 more left. We go to the home fourth, where the Braves enjoy an early lead. Half innings. Everything's going swimmingly for the Braves. That's our Lexus game summary.
Tommy, you talked about Whistler, those doubling up on those 2 pitches inside to Puig. Maybe they paid dividends here.
Well, yeah, back-to-back fastball in, and now you go back to the breaking ball away, and you see how he gave just a little bit with his front side, thinking he was going to get another fastball in. That allowed that breaking ball to get on the outer half of the plate, off the end of the bat, weak ground ball, inning over. That's how you use a pitch to set up another pitch somewhere down the line.
Whistler's looking good with an early lead. Now Uribe goes to work against Brandon Beachy, and that missed high. 1 ball, no strikes. Wind has calmed down a bit. Skies clearing off to our left. And some heavy cloud cover at first pitch. We're worried about rain, but it appears it's going to be a delightful night for the Braves and Dodgers this evening.
That delivery for Beachy is going to require some work too. He's telegraphing that, slowing his arm action down on that big curveball.
Back foul out of play, and a 2-2 count. Barnes took a little punishment behind the plate, and Uribe will see another. It's still 2-2.
Spoiled a good pitch too. Nice job by Uribe. Chan looked up those rainouts a little deeper. Last time both the Angels and the Padres got rained out was 1983. It's only the 3rd time in history.
Wow. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Gonzalez gives chase over near the tarp, and Adrian won't have a play.
That's the cool thing about Chan. If it has anything to do with rainouts or hot dogs,
he's on it.
Oh, it's incredible.
I was going to say, when you said you mentioned earlier he gave 2 thumbs up for something, right?
Yes.
Usually got no shot.
Right. They're busy.
A dog in each hand.
Yes.
You missed it yesterday, though, Joe. First the pitch. Oh, Uribe hit one right up the elevator shaft, and Rollins will give way to Jock Peterson, and there's the first out. Yesterday was National Ice Cream Day.
Oh, wow. Chan likes his ice cream.
Let me tell you something.
That I know.
See that guy right there?
Yep.
Speed that up about 6 times and make the cup about 4 times bigger.
Yeah.
That's the picture.
He's going after it.
Oh. Like one of those.
Well, it was a holiday.
Like one of those back hauler things in the Caterpillar track. Backhoes, yeah. Just that's the exact visual. Joey T pops one up behind the plate, and the Dodger catcher puts the squeeze on that. There's the second out. And Yuri Perez is the hitter. Base is empty. Hey, what you got to do, what you got to do, holiday or not. It's been blistering in Atlanta. Mid-90s temperatures again today. Cooled off to 92 at game time. And now the sun has dipped below the horizon. Things cooling off nicely. As Yuri takes a strike, it's 0-1. Imagine that's a bit of a culture shock for the Dodgers, who played such cool, comfortable weather out west. Shock to the senses when you come east. Playing the swampy weather in Washington, the humidity here, and they've got to finish up in New York, which is no easy task either, is it, Tommy?
No. I know when I was playing, we always just looked at the schedule, and
July and August and hope you had trips out west so you could get out of the heat a little bit. So I'd imagine these guys are the reverse. They're looking at it hoping they don't have to come here in July and August, but they're in the middle of one now.
0-2 pitch is high. 1-2. After we wrap up our Dodgers series, the Braves have a hot trip ahead too. St. Louis, Baltimore, and Philly.
I know Bobby did this, and I've seen Freddie do it too, and that is when you get to these hot days of summertime in Atlanta, or for that matter St. Louis or whatever, cut back on batting practice. Don't spend quite as much time on the field before the game.
Yeah, I think I know Bobby always used to do it. Would cut it down by, a group, maybe 10 minutes or something like that. And I think it's more the norm now where the regulars hit first and they're off the field. But that's what another thing Bobby used to do too, because back in those days it was the pitchers, then the extra guys, then the regulars hit. But in the summertime, he'd flip it and get those regular guys to hit first so they could get off the field and get in the clubhouse and kind of relax and get out of the heat a little bit.
Hanger and Yuri Perez whacked it in the left. Ethier cuts it off shy of the track, but Perez can fly, and he's got an easy stand-up double with 2 outs.
Really hitting the ball solidly. I was just watching. What was that? I was at breaking ball. Good swing by Perez, but I was watching Peterson on this play. Jock Peterson never moved. That ball was headed for the gap. You saw what Ethier had to do to slide and try to cut it off with a fast runner. Jock Peterson just stood there and watched him. I've never seen a guy who's highly touted as a really good outfielder not break on a ball as soon as it was hit between him and another outfielder. That was strange.
The Dodgers will walk Simmons and face the Braves pitcher Matt Whistler. And one more wide one. We'll put Braves runners at first and second here in the home fourth. That's Rick Honeycutt, Dodger pitching coach. Great guy, terrific coach.
Yeah, they've been really good under him since he's been there since 2006. They lead the majors in ERA, opponent's batting average, and strikeouts. So he's done a nice job over there.
He was a great teammate too of mine in Seattle. Lives up around Ringgold, Georgia now.
Way high, 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0 to the pitcher. Now he's got to throw him a strike, or else Jace Peterson will hit with the bases loaded. And boy, has that been a productive scenario for the Braves this year. That one dropped in for a strike.
I know it's the right thing to do, and you have to do it almost, but I used to hate when I had to do that. Walk a guy to face the pitcher because it's a no-win situation.
Now the runners go, and it's ball 4. Beachy walked the pitcher, and here comes Jace Peterson. Wait till we show you the eye-popping numbers for the Braves second baseman this year while hitting with the bases loaded. Check this out. 8 for 13 and 20 RBIs in those 13 at-bats.
20 of his 37 RBIs on the season.
So with 2 outs, a chance to break the game open. It's 2-0 as it stands. Beachy has no place to put Jace Peterson, who's second on the club in walks as well, so he's got a good eye. And Rick Honeycutt will make his way to the mound and buy a little more time for Brandon Beachy. It looks like he has sweated right through that Dodger uniform top.
Yeah, he's got a two-tone uniform on. They've got a couple of lefties, and they've got one up in the pen now. Not sure if it's Howell or Liberatore. It is Liberatore.
It's a long meeting. Now it's broken up. And now Beachy versus Jace Peterson. Beachy has one easy inning. That was the third inning. He got the first 2 outs here in the fourth. But a Perez double, an intentional walk of Simmons, an unintentional walk to that man, Matt Whistler, has him loaded up with 2 outs. Little flare headed toward the left field line. It's a fair ball. 2 runs are going to score. A bloop double for Jace Peterson, who does it again with the bases loaded.
Use the whole field. Get out of this slump by using the whole field, and this time chalk it up. Looked like it landed right on the line.
Yeah, hit right on it. So a bloop and a blast have accounted for the 4 Atlanta runs tonight. And Don Mattingly waiting for confirmation that his bullpen's ready, but I don't think he wants to bring Liberatore on to face Maben. If he can't retire Cameron, might be the end of the line for Brandon Beachy. All of this happening with 2 outs.
A little 2-out lightning. Good to see.
Big curve, didn't get it. Strike 1. Late on a fastball makes it 0-2 for Cameron Maben.
For most of this season, Cameron's been real good with 2 strikes. He has been able to shorten up his swing, go the other way, and put it in play and put some heat on the defense.
Strike 3 called outside corner,
I
and
jinxed him.
that is the inning. But as Joe called it, 2-out lightning for Atlanta. Bookend doubles, one by Perez, one by Jace Peterson with the bases loaded, makes it 4-0 Braves after 4. We want to help you select the most memorable moment in Atlanta Braves history. Starting today and running through the end of the season, Braves.com/A50 will feature a new memorable moment matchup you'll be able to vote on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Visit Braves.com/A50 to relive your favorite Atlanta Braves moments.
Great idea. Everybody's got their own,
right?
You know, different plays, different events affect people different ways, and they remember where they were when things happen like that over the 50 years of Braves baseball in Atlanta. So that's a great thing.
Jimmy Rollins starts the 5th for the Dodgers, who of course provided the opposition for arguably the greatest moment in Braves history as far as an individual performance is concerned. Henry Aaron versus Al Downing in the ballpark across the street. One ball, one strike. Bring up Henry Aaron because today also a milestone day for baseball's true home run champion. On this date in 1976, Henry Aaron hit his 755th and final big league home run. Popped up left side, long run, Uribe and Simmons, Andrelton and Perez meet, and Andrelton makes the play. Avoided Perez. There's the first out.
This is the time of night, though, where you can lose a pop-up easily if you take your eye off of it. I was watching Simmons. I wasn't watching Perez. But Andrelton tracked that the whole way, and I think Perez did too. That's why they almost ran together. That home run was hit off Dick Drago. Chip. With the California Angels.
So Henry Aaron's final season in 1976, he finished with 10 homers and 755 for his career. Austin Barnes, the batter. And a pop fly down the right field line. No chance for Markakis. And that's out of play. Barnes was not a homegrown Dodger. He was drafted by the Marlins in the 9th round in 2011. The Dodgers acquired Barnes, Andrew Haney, Chris Hatcher, and Enrique Hernandez from the Marlins for D. Gordon, Dan Herron, Miguel Rojas, and a lot of cash. That was in December of 2014. Haney was then flipped to the Angels for Howie Kendrick. Barnes is still a Dodger. Herron and Gordon still with Miami. Play foul, still 0-2.
Well, this is an interesting catching situation for them. If they had to DL Ellis, and I'm assuming they did, is that correct?
That's what we were told before the game, because they had to make a move to bring Barnes up. And Grandal, lucky he didn't break his jaw.
Yeah, and was already on a 7-day concussion DL earlier this year. Grandal was, so they're really treating him with kid gloves. So it's almost like
lined over short.
Barnes is their only guy.
Just missed it. Austin Barnes with a rope to left. And that's the 4th Dodger hit, all of them singles. Here's the injury to Yasmani Grandal. It took place yesterday.
Right in the chin.
That and 107-degree heat index will make anybody see stars.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so the night is done for Brandon Beachy. This is Alex Guerrero. Boy, this guy's been a good player. He stung the Braves a time or two out west.
Yeah, including a homer.
And he corkscrews that ball on a funny hop past first. And hustling out is Peterson to track it down. He drops the ball.
It's still spinning.
And they're at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Wait till you see the reaction of Joey Trdoslavich on this ball hit to first base. I mean, you talk about funny spin and a Willie Mosconi special. Check it out.
Well, they say if you stay around this game long enough, you'll see everything. I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
That was unbelievable. I mean, that ball was going to his glove side at one point in time.
That was weird. So first and third for the Dodgers. Jock Peterson, the hitter. And he'll bat with one man out. Double play would be nice. Four 4-0. Atlanta leads it. Swing and a miss. And that's that big cut Joe was talking about earlier.
That was a good fastball that he had no chance on. Tied him up.
Peterson's 23 years old and had an unbelievable year in the Pacific Coast League last season. Became the first PCL player with a 30 homer, 30 steal year since Frank Demery did it in 1934. And only the second Dodger minor leaguer to ever accomplish that feat.
I imagine most guys don't stay down there long enough to do it, right? I mean, having that kind of year, you're usually getting called up.
He hit .303, scored 106 runs, hit 33 homers, drove in 78. Stole 30 and was caught 13 times. Had a .435 on base percentage. That was for Albuquerque. A ball and a strike.
Well, either he had teammates that weren't getting on base in front of him when he hit 33 homers and only drove in 78.
78, I think it was, yeah.
Or he wasn't driving in many runs outside of those homers.
Kind of like this year, but you understand he's leading off.
Yeah, this is a little different place in the order.
However, here's a spot for him. He's got 2 runners on and 1 out. And he's way ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Peterson finished second in the home run derby in Cincinnati on Monday night. The Reds' Todd Frazier, the hometown winner. 20 home runs for Peterson, second most ever for a National League rookie before the All-Star break, behind Dave Kingman and Albert Pujols, who hit 21. Bouncing ball. Joey T's coming home. Pierzynski's got the plate blocked. And an easy out. Barnes is retired. There's out number 2. No funny spin on that play. And Trdosanovic came home, cut off a run, keeps the shutout alive, and gets the second out.
Nice play. A real nice play, because he was only going to get 1 out somewhere, but he came home and prevented a run from scoring for the 1 out.
Yep, got a nice big hop coming in on the ball. Could see the runner breaking from third and had him no problem.
Dodgers are wondering if A.J. Pierzynski actually put the tag on. I think that was fairly clear there on that last slide. That last replay, rather. Oh, you got him in the chest. Yep.
So no video challenge by Don Mattingly, and that brings up Howie Kendrick. 2 on now, 2 out. Peterson unable to elevate the baseball and bring home the first Dodger run. Kendrick, foul to left. Strike 1.
We never got a chance to watch Howie Kendrick swing the bat much in the American League, but the 3 games we saw out in L.A. were like tonight, where everything seemed to be on the barrel.
Good hitter, good guy. Grew up a Braves fan. No balls at a strike. And quickly 0-2. Kendrick sitting on 99 hits this year. Went to West Nassau High School in Callahan, Florida. St. John's River Community College in Palatka, Florida, up in the Panhandle. Tom Kochman, Casey Kochman's dad, was the man that signed him and scouted him. Two on, two out, 2-strike pitch. Good try, and he missed. It's 1-2. In the air to center. Maven on a run. He's still going. He's not going to get there. That's going to bounce off the fence. 2 runs are going to score, and Howie Kendrick has doubled home a pair. Hit number 100 is a 2-run double. And the Dodgers will bring the tying run to the plate in the 5th. It's 4-2.
That was an outstanding swing because it looked like something in on him, and he still got the barrel to it. Targets in. Fastball in. What a swing. And this ball jumped. The unfortunate thing for the Braves is it didn't bounce out of the ballpark. Would have saved a run.
Yeah, I kind of thought, much like with the Puig at bat, I thought the way he took that slider kind of led me to believe he was looking for something in, and he got one and put a good swing on it.
So now trouble afoot. With one swing, Adrian Gonzalez could tie this game. LA with 6 hits. The Howie Kendrick double, their first extra base hit of the game. Swing, fly ball deep right. And Adrian Gonzalez has tied the game. That took about 3 minutes.
That's why they're dangerous.
21 homers for Adrian Gonzalez, his 3rd homer in his last 14 at bats. He knew it.
You know the golfer Ernie Els?
Yeah.
His nickname's the Big Easy. You could apply that to this guy. Both of the outs he made tonight before the home run were hard hit rockets. Real easy, smooth swing, just like the homer. Doesn't swing hard, the ball just flies.
Now Turner rips one to left. And all of a sudden the Dodgers have their hitting shoes on. That's 3 straight extra base hits. And Turner's 3 for 3. And Matt Whistler might need a timeout here.
That one was not supposed to be in. But look at how Turner got his hands inside the baseball. Watch this. Watch how he brings his right elbow in so far it's almost pressing against his hip there to help generate bat speed to get the barrel to the baseball. That was big league hitting right there.
Yep.
Seen 3 good swings in a row like that from them.
So the 3rd time through the order for the Dodgers has helped them score 4 runs to tie it up. And you're not out of the woods yet. Ethier, the batter, he's singled and flied out. One ball, no strikes. Popped him up. Jace Peterson at second says he's got it, and he does. And that will retire the side. Well, the Dodgers had some 2-out thunder of their own. A 2-run double by Kendrick, a 2-run homer by Adrian Gonzalez, and the Dodgers have new life. Middle of the 5th inning.
Member. A lot of familiar faces you see there who are already a part of the Braves Hall of Fame, here to celebrate broadcaster Don Sutton, who rode around in the car before the game. That was our Zaxby's indescribably good play. And I know, Don, if there's anybody who could describe what a special moment that was, and especially because this Hall of Fame means how much you mean to the fans and to Braves country, it's you.
But I can't describe it, Jen. I felt like today that Ernie Johnson, Skip Carey, Pete Van Weert, and Don Sutton went into the Hall of Fame, because I know I would not have had a chance to come here without Ernie going to bat for me and without those other two guys. So I was shocked to get the call. It just never entered my mind that I would fit into the category of a Braves Hall of Famer, and I'm flattered, I'm blessed. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to feel.
Well, we sure appreciate it. We send our congratulations as well. I know you've got a lot of people here to share this special moment, so you enjoy the rest of your night, Don.
I will. It's the biggest collection of best friends and family I have ever had.
As it should be.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jen. As the Braves go to work in the 5th inning, Nick Markakis will go to work against Mr. Liberatore, who's on in relief of Brandon Beachy, who's off the hook. He gave up 4 runs, and he'll have a no decision after 4 innings tonight.
Well, I said before the game, I see Brandon get a no decision and hang an L on somebody else, so we'll see what happens.
Liberatore came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. That was for Greg Harris and Jose Dominguez last November. That's lined and fair, headed for the corner for Markakis. Nick has a leadoff double against a lefty. Two extra base hits for the Braves right fielder.
This guy throws pretty hard. He can ramp it up to the mid-90s with a slider. And another good piece of hitting on a ball out away from him.
All of a sudden, everybody's got their hitting shoes on.
Yeah.
Not surprising that the Dodgers would go to Tampa Bay to make a deal. Remember, Andrew Friedman, their president of baseball operations, was the executive VP of baseball operations in Tampa Bay. And he was hired last October. Here's AJ. Let's see if he can get Markakis to third at the very least. Ball 1.
Nothing I like seeing better from this ball club than the times where they've had a lead, lost it, and come right back on you. not give the opponent that shutdown inning.
AJ fouled it away, even count. Said it a lot this weekend. Where would the Braves have been without AJ Pierzynski this year? He was supposed to back up Christian Bethancourt, but he flat out won the job. Hits lefties well. At 262, he's handled the staff. He's handled 29 different pitchers this year. He's up in a big spot here in the home fifth. Ground ball right side, and he did his job. Excellent piece of hitting for Pierzynski. Markakis at third with one out.
You know what? The Braves have not been doing a very good job of that lately. When they've been struggling to score runs in the absence of Freddie Freeman, some of those real good fundamentals hitting wise that they've had all year long kind of escaped them. Not that that's an easy thing to do, pull the ball to the right side, but AJ did an excellent job there and helps the offense out by getting a runner to third.
And now you think the advantage swings to the Braves. You've got a right-handed hitter up there in Uribe, and the infield's in with Markakis at third and one out. Uribe looking for his first hit this year against the Dodgers. And low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Be a good spot for it.
And his split's about the same. 273 against lefties coming in tonight, 279 against right-handers. 4 of his 7 homers, 4 of his 8 homers have come against lefties, half and half.
In the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Another good crowd in Atlanta tonight for the Dodgers. Braves and Cubs drew almost 120,000 fans for their series. You have major plans. Hope you'll join us. 2 more with Los Angeles tomorrow night and Wednesday afternoon. 2-0 pitch. Bouncing ball through. Base hit. Braves are back in front. That's the advantage of the infield in. Uribe filled a hole that Rollins couldn't cover up and give part of that RBI to AJ Pierzynski. Excellent hitting.
A little ABC baseball. Love it.
Down and in. I don't know if he's trying to throw a back foot pitch there and didn't get it there.
Either that or a backdoor breaking ball or something.
No shutdown inning. Braves right back in business. Nicely done by all.
Let's see if Joey Tardoslavich can help the Braves add on here. Joey is 0 for 2. If you missed Jen Hildreth's report earlier on Braves Live, good news on Freddie Freeman. That ball's in the dirt. After a second round of cortisone shots in the right wrist the other day, Freddie took some dry swings earlier. He's been throwing the baseball. He's taken some ground balls. Freddie told Jen earlier the wrist feels great.
He took some dry swings, Chip, and then he also hit off the tee, and that was earlier this afternoon. And then he was going to do some soft toss as well. I don't know how the results were on that, but at least what we saw of him on the field when he was taking ground balls today, all signs were really good.
So one can assume that Freddie's getting close, if not very close, to going out on a rehab stint. When he comes back, that will be a big lift. So light at the end of the tunnel regarding the absence of Freddie Freeman tonight.
It's the first time I'd seen a smile on his face since the middle of June.
Fly ball deep left off the bat of Tardoslavich, but Ethier's there to make the play. And just as that ball was pitched, there was a massive bolt of lightning over the skyline in downtown Atlanta.
That lasted a while.
Yeah, I hope that didn't hit anything, because that'll hurt. Leave a mark.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
Watch the left of the scoreboard.
That was all one lightning bolt.
And now you hear the rumble. That was at least 30-40 seconds. So that's how far away the lightning is in the rain, we hope.
Well, I don't know. That shot they showed at the dugout a minute ago with Freddie and Ed Magnin over his shoulder, that's never a good sign when Ed's in the dugout.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand it's raining at SunTrust Park. Good thing we're not playing there tonight.
Oh, so if you're out that way, tell us what your cows are doing.
One ball, no strikes.
If your cows are standing up, that means we're in good shape. But if they're laying down, bad weather's coming.
That one's standing up. I think we're okay.
Another bolt. Flashing north and northwest. Hey, get a run. Well, the Braves have a run. Get another out here. We got an official game. The Braves lead. It's 5-4 in the fifth. And Perez backs out of the box. Closing in on 9 o'clock in Atlanta. And now Liberatore ready with a 2-1. And taken too high.
Last night when I got back into town on the way home, I was listening to Jim Powell and Mark Lemke on the Braves radio network, and Mark was talking about those instances where you got a storm coming and everybody wants the guys to make outs, you know, hurry up, make it an official game. That's all well and good for the guys in the dugout. The guy at the plate does not want to really fulfill that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Jim and Limmer.
And don't the baseball gods sort of frown on that? I mean, don't you really have to just play the game and let Mother Nature do what she will or won't?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I got caught doing that a couple times. I needed this situation here, and you're pitching, and you're looking around, and all right, I just need 2 more outs. Hurry up. And next thing you know, you gave up 4, and the inning's still going on. And like, jeez.
3 balls, 2 strikes. High hopper hit toward Kendrick at second. He'll unload quickly. And he got his man. The Braves get a run off Adam Liberatore. A Markakis double, a Brzezinski ground out, and a Uribe single. It's an official game, and the Braves officially lead. The needs of the military community for over 90 years. 5 5-4 Atlanta. We head to the 6th inning. Braves fans, you hear us say all the time what a great job Mac Coney and our flight crew from Delta Airlines does in getting us from city to city all summer long. Well, guess what? There he is.
Yeah, Mac.
Mac Coney enjoying the ball game with his beautiful daughter, the aptly named Melissa Storm.
Oh, good timing.
Yeah.
A little upset Mac's not flipping the hamburgers for the charter on Thursday right now. As you see, Puig pops one up. And Jace Peterson backpedals and makes the play for the first out. We love to give Mac a hard time. He is a great guy. Really a great guy.
Really is. Does a great job.
He and the crew make the summertime travel more than tolerable. There they are.
Yeah, he sees himself on TV now.
And you know what he's thinking?
Oh, what are they saying? Let me know.
And it's Melissa's birthday, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Happy birthday.
Thank goodness she looks like her mom.
You bet. Great to see them both at the park. As the Lightning's getting closer. Rollins takes a strike.
Quick out already for Whistler. Got the lead back. See what kind of bulldog he's got in him now that he's been able to weather that storm. No pun intended.
So far, not much change as far as the wind is concerned. A lot of the weather is staying north of downtown. Near Sandy Springs, Kennesaw, south of Roswell. Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Yeah, please.
Bullpen busy just in case as Rollins awaits a 1-2 pitch. And that just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Didn't get a corner. Full count.
We showed all those transactions these two teams have made. The Braves made another one as well today. Andrew McKirahan is back on the active roster after serving his suspension. So the Braves now with 3 lefties in the bullpen. Showed you Jason Frazier warming up. McKirahan is up as well.
All 4 Dodger runs came in the last inning. Now 3-2, and Rollins is down on strikes. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's his first strikeout tonight.
Jimmy Rollins will kill you down and in. Good low ball hitter, and as a left-handed hitter, classic low ball down and in hitter.
So Barnes the batter. He singled and was thrown out at the plate his first time up, or his last time up, I beg your pardon. He popped out back in the Dodger third. 4 runs, 8 hits for Los Angeles, 5 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. Whistler trying to work 6 tonight. He's due second next inning. We'll see if Freddie Gonzalez allows him to stay in the game as he's at 90 pitches on a very hot night. Alberto Callaspo will hit for Liberatore if Barnes can reach with 2 outs. Popped up over by the Dodger dugout. Big bounce. And a fan from Villarica made the catch. Now the wind starts to pick up. Bounding ball to third, foul.
You mentioned that series in Washington with the Mets and the Nationals, Chip. I know it's just July, but one of the nice things right now, if the Braves can get on a little run, start one with this series with the Dodgers, they'll pick up ground on somebody.
Right. In the dirt low. I don't think anybody in baseball thought that the Nationals lead in the East would be 2 games on July the 20th. In fairness to Washington, though, as painful as that is to be, they are racked by injury. But Atlanta doesn't care about that. Nice pitch by Whistler to earn his second strikeout. And we head to the home 6th. Still 5-4 Braves in front. Today, USAA honors all of our service members at home and abroad. Thank you for your service. And we hope our veterans in Atlanta are enjoying a great game on a hot Georgia night at Turner Field. Atlanta tries to extend the lead. Simmons, Whistler, and Peterson are scheduled. And before we kick off the home 6, let's check out the AT&T U-verse trivia question. Over the last 10 years, Adrian Gonzalez is 4th among active left-hand hitters with 276 home runs. Who has the most homers over the last 10 years in all of Big League Baseball among left-handed hitters?
Jay Bruce, Joey Votto.
That's in baseball?
Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard.
Doesn't say National League or American League.
David Ortiz.
A lot of choices. And not a lot of time. That's so typical. Here's Andrelton Simmons against Joel Peralta, the 3rd Dodger pitcher of the night. By the way, the word is cows are laying down all over Cobb County, Smyrna, and Marietta in particular. These y'all.
Well, fortunately, we're not playing there. So
some of them were tired.
Yeah. A base hit by Andrelton Simmons, and that's how the Braves 6th starts. Good night for Andrelton. Boy, he needed it. He's 2 for 2 with a run scored.
Fastball, slider, and a split for Peralta. Again, for Andrelton, going up the middle, using the whole field. I think this is a good move here. I thought Whistler get 6 innings out of him. I thought his stuff was waning a little bit there in the top of the inning.
Yeah, a lot of times being a pitcher, I'd like to see him go one more inning or whatever, but I'm good with this move right here.
So Pedro Ciriaco will bat for Whistler, who threw 95 pitches. And that's part of the pitch count thing that some casual fans, Tom, I think don't really understand. Greg Maddux talked about it. I'm sure you did too. Weather certainly plays a role, and the stress of those pitches plays a role.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw 95 relatively stressless pitches, and you can throw 50 unbelievably stressful pitches. It just all depends on the game. I mean, you like them to be stressless, but most of the time they're not.
So Whistler in line to win his 4th game. This will be in the hands of the Atlanta bullpen, a relief corps that's done very good work of late. One ball, no strikes. Bounding ball, fair past Turner. Ciriaco just hooked that ball down the third base line, and he's got a pinch hit double. Man, has he been good off the bench. That's his 8th pinch hit.
When you're standing at third base like Turner and you see a guy put a swing on a ball like this, you never expect it to be hit toward you. I don't know how far outside that pitch was. Outer edge at best. And to be able to go out and pull it down the line, keep it fair. Look how far he was off the line.
So a chance for another RBI or 2 for Chase Peterson, who's already brought home a pair.
Oh no, they're loaded. They're loaded. Chase, they're loaded.
Yep.
Just let him know that.
Way outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Hot shot, a base hit. That's going to score 1 for sure. Ciriaco's going to be stopped at third as Puig's throw missed the cutoff man. Throw to second. Peterson out. Runner coming home. Safe.
Braves are going to wait and examine that play at second base to decide if they're going to appeal it. But again, Jace comes through, and some excellent base running on the part of Ciriaco to get that extra run in. Target away, pitch in the middle.
Yep.
Peterson called out 9-2 to 6 as Puig just launched it. No chance for Adrian Gonzalez to cut it off.
Oh.
And then Rollins from the seat of his pants threw late to the plate, and Ciriaco came home to score. So thank you very much. It's a 3-run lead again.
Seen some strange plays tonight.
Certainly have.
Well, the bases are empty for Maben, and he grounds one to Rollins. Bad hop. He stayed with it and made a good play. 2 out.
The reason I thought maybe Jace got in there was because Rollins caught the low throw and then tried to go back and tag him again. So I thought, okay, well, maybe he missed him on the first swipe. Caught the ball.
Oh, his foot
never got to the bag.
Yep, his Rollins' foot must have shielded Jace Peterson's right foot from the bag.
Well, he's a veteran. He knows how to keep you off the base, but somebody's going in their spikes first and going to tear that up. And I'm sure it's happened to Jimmy before.
Either one of you have a problem with Puig's throw to the plate?
I didn't think it was that high. I thought Gonzalez had a chance to at least deke him, and I thought that's why Jace froze a little bit when he rounded first.
1-0 pitch. And that's downstairs.
No, it was airmailed. You're right, Chip.
So the Braves got an extra run and extend the lead again to 7-4. 10 hits for the Braves tonight. And the Peralta pitch on a corner. Nick Markakis had a marvelous night at the plate. Finally got that first Braves home run out of the way. A straightaway center shot. That came in the first inning. Markakis doubled to lead off the fifth and scored on Juan Uribe's single. And Peralta missed badly there. 3-1 now your count.
I want to go back to Whistler real quick. Tonight, this was his 6th start. This is the 3rd out of those 6 where he did not walk a batter. And another one where he only walked 1. And oddly enough, his walk high in a game is 5 in 5 1/3 innings against Washington, and he beat them 4-1 because he only gave up 1 hit.
You can't do both. You can't be walking guys and giving up hits. But I think that's a good sign that most of the time he's not walking guys.
Peralta walked a guy. It's Nick Markakis. He's aboard with 2 out.
Last time the Braves scored as many as 7 runs was July 4th when they scored 9 against Philadelphia.
Well, keep adding on, fellas.
Yep. Add on runs.
Especially with these big boppers in that other dugout.
AJ's 0 for 3. But a very productive out last time up. And he wishes he had that pitch back. Strike 1. Nats 5, Mets 2, top 7 in Washington. Phillies 5, Tampa Bay 3 at the Bank Vault. That's also 7th inning. Seesaw game in Cincinnati. Reds 5, Cubs 4 in the 7th. Giants and Padres later on tonight. LA, the Angels that is, beat Boston 11-1 in game 1 of their doubleheader. No balls, hit a strike. Chris Medlin starting for Kansas City tonight. Things haven't started well, it would appear. Pirates lead him 4-1, bottom of the 3rd. Did Medlin not pitch, Jan? Nope. Okay, great. So it's not Chris Medlin tonight.
He's due to pitch soon, though, I think. I thought he was pitching tonight, too.
I did, too. I had read that somewhere that he was going to pitch tonight, and then when I saw the beach he was going, I thought, what a coincidence. Beg your pardon. He has been activated today, but he's in the bullpen. Thanks, Chan.
Thanks, Chan. Oh, Pittsburgh gets like a 15-1 lead. Medlin can go out and pitch some stress-free action tonight. Pirates just happy to get out of Milwaukee, where the Brewers spanked him last weekend. 0-2 for Brzezinski, and a ground ball to second. Kendrick handles a third hop, and that's the inning. Atlanta gets 2 more runs. Jace Peterson comes up with men in scoring position, and he comes through again. Matt Whistler has a nice lead, 7-4 after 6.
Fans through the gate will receive a bobblehead featuring Freddie Freeman hugging Johnny Gomes. Don't miss out on this limited edition bobblehead. Visit Braves.com/tickets to get your ticket today.
So far, so good for the Braves against the Dodgers in Game 1 of the series. As Joe mentioned earlier, if Atlanta can win tonight, they'll gain ground on someone in the National League East. And our DirecTV division standings show the Nationals only 2 games ahead of Washington. The Braves are 7 games back and 5 behind the second-place Mets, who are in competition not only for the division, but for one of the National League wildcard spots. So far, the Braves have protected their home turf with LA in town. And this is Jason Frazier. Good work for the Kansas City Royals. But with the embarrassment of riches they have in their bullpen, the 37-year-old was turned loose and signed very quickly with the Braves.
Pretty good career marks while with Toronto before going to Kansas City.
Haven't had a chance to say hi to Jason yet, but from all the accounts I've read, he has a great sense of humor. You saw the season numbers he had with Kansas City. Good ERA, good numbers, but he had a lot of base runners. Yeah. And that sometimes had Ned Yost a little nervous. And Frazier said to Ned one day, he said, "Look, I'm just playing for the force play at third. Relax. Got this covered."
Got to have a plan. Might not be one your manager likes, but
that's a nice veteran arm to have in our deck of relief arms as Callaspo pops one toward left. Perez should have no trouble with it. He doesn't. And quite frankly, with the trading deadline coming up for Major League Baseball in just 11 days, everybody's looking for veteran relief help. If Frazier pitches well, he might be an asset that could be moved. Jim Johnson, a potential relief arm that could be moved. You can't have all kids in your bullpen. Frazier's not a kid. He's 37. You got the first out. Callaspo's retired, and that'll bring up Jock Peterson, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Wind really starting to blow downstairs for the Dodgers center fielder. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peterson, born and lives in Palo Alto, California. Not a first-round pick. They got him in the 11th round 5 years ago. And that ball's hit hard toward left. Perez, as far as he can go, slams into the wall and held on.
That was a heck of a play. And I mean, the ball and the wall got there at the same time.
Yeah, and that left-hander hitting it that way just keeps slicing away from you. Got to keep chasing it. Great play.
And the wind has picked up, and it's begun to rain ever so lightly at the ballpark. Here's Howie Kendrick. And a ball inside to Kendrick, who knocked in a couple of runs. The first 2 Dodger runs back in the 5th inning.
You can see Frazier's uniform really whipping.
And it's cooled off a good 10-15 degrees, even without much heavy rain. Foul back. 2 balls and a strike.
On Nicasio, having an animated chat with his catcher in the bullpen.
Into the outside corner, 2-2.
Check out our PNC Bank Fox tracks. Right on the money.
Yep. Pitcher's pitch.
Throw another one right there and send us to the stretch. Right off the knuckles. Jace charged and a backhand flip to Juraslovic. And Frazier, a perfect 7th inning. It is time to stretch in Atlanta. 7-4. Braves lead the Dodgers.
And Georgia Power.
Rain starting to come down here in Atlanta, but not hard enough to interrupt play for the moment, where the Braves lead 7-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. As we promised you earlier tonight, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to #SouthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Very nice picture. Right outside the ballpark.
And there's Juan Nicasio, who's on to pitch for Los Angeles. He's the 4th pitcher to work. Every single Dodger pitcher so far tonight has given up at least 1 run. Brandon Beachy gave up 4. Liberatore 1. Peralta 2. Now Nicasio's turn.
Sorry, Chip. Nicasio throws hard, mid-90s. A very hard slider, but you could see there a lot of walks mixed in with a strikeout, over a strikeout per inning pitched.
And he'll face Juan Uribe to start the Atlanta 7th. Juraslovic and Yuri Perez to follow. And a swinging strikeout, a play foul by Uribe, right side, 0-1. Good news down on the farm tonight for the Rome Braves. We're told Tuki Toussaint, the young man acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks, along with Bronson Arroyo, pitched 6 innings of no-hit ball tonight. Rome lost the no-hit in the 7th inning, but Toussaint was brilliant.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Tuki entered play tonight with a 2-1 record, a 4.19 ERA at Rome. Got some good-looking players on that Rome ball club. Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ozzie Albies leads the club with a .331 average and 27 stolen bases. He's the infielder that looks about 12 years old. And Uribe didn't get it. He's out number 1. Time for our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. Asked for some runs, got them tonight.
Yeah, we needed to see the Braves get their offense going tonight, and they did. Last 11 games, averaging just barely over 2.5 runs per game tonight. 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 extra base hits, and a home run from Nick Markakis. Woohoo! Off and running.
Just a light misting rain at the ballpark now. As Trdoslavich looks for his first base hit tonight. And he's going to have it the other way. Look at Turner. He just can't believe it. Braves hit a couple of balls down the line that he couldn't snare. And Joey Trdoslavich has the 11th hit of the night for the Braves.
Braves have an extra base hit in every inning except the second and third. That is a great pitch.
Really good pitch.
And Turdo spoils it, keeps it fair.
I don't remember Mike Greenwell playing. Mike is Joey's uncle. Did he have a lot of hits like that, Joe, in his day?
He used the whole field. Power. He's built a lot like Joey. Won a batting title with Boston.
So keep on adding on. And Turner Field tonight. Yuri Perez, he's got one of those extra base hits Joe was talking about. And a good rip back to the screen. Right on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Game 2 here tomorrow night. Good matchup. Couple of lefties get after it. Alex Wood for the Braves. Brett Anderson pitches for the Dodgers. Braves live at 6:30. Game time 7:10. Then a quick turnaround Wednesday. A 12:10 start. Tehran and Bolsinger. Braves are off on Thursday, then we'll head to St. Louis and open up a weekend series with the Cardinals. One ball, 1 strike. Raining a little harder now. Caught a corner. It's 1-2.
What time is that game in St. Louis on Sunday? 1 o'clock?
Yes.
So you guys will hopefully get to see Smoltzy go in by then? 2 o'clock East Coast time?
Gretchen Caney, our producer tonight, says that John's induction will be happening at the same time as the game.
I was hoping maybe there'd be an hour difference there. You might.
Yeah, you're right.
Catch him.
That'd be nice. By the way, Gretchen and Jen will be going to Cooperstown with a Fox crew to cover all the activities just as they did for you guys last year.
John won't be nearly as accommodating.
Hey, somebody made a great point. I mean, it might have been Joe. Are you going to sit with the MLB network crew and critique John's speech?
No, I'll be on stage behind him, but maybe they'll have me and Greg on afterwards to critique his speech.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that one's out towards second. Kendricks surrounded it and made the play to first. Runner at third now, 2 outs. Would it be tempting to sit back in the back with some pistachios or just throw peanuts or something?
Oh, of course.
While he makes a speech.
I guarantee you right now that whatever. And you know he's going to throw some jabs at me and Doggy. And I'll guarantee you whatever he says about Doggy, Doggy's reply will be, at least I have hair. Or something to do with John's hair.
Could you ever imagine, Tommy, in 1990, 1991, 1992, that John Smoltz, and then later probably had a better idea of Greg Maddux. But the three of you would be in the Hall of Fame in the same era, just a couple of years apart.
No. And I think that's part of what makes it so cool, is that because we are so kind of intertwined in terms of our career, that we end up there together. That's really cool.
And Bobby went in, of course. Chipper's going to go in, I assume, on the first ballot.
Yeah, I would think so.
With you and John living in the same town and roughly in the same area, I know Greg's out west, but do you talk? Do either of the two of you talk to Greg much during the offseason?
It's funny. I do more now since the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, before that, you know, see him once a year, maybe at alumni weekend or something. But you know, since then, it's, you know, we talk a lot more, and we've had the opportunity recently to do some golf trips together and stuff like that. So it's, you know, we seem to be doing stuff during the course of the year now that we kind of run into each other more, which is great.
And the amazing thing, too, not only are the three of you Hall of Famers, but first ballot.
Yeah. No,
that is really cool.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Nicasio brings it home, and back foul and back to the screen. Did John call you and say, hey, what should I say in my speech? Did you offer him any speech writing tips on what he should or shouldn't say?
No, I told him, obviously, like everybody told us, keep it short, which, you know, it's hard to do.
Right.
But no, just my whole thing was, what worked for me was just write things down as they come to you, and then try to formulate it all at some point in time, because you know, there's no way to sit down in one setting and say, okay, I'm going to write my speech, because inevitably, and this happened to me, I would think I had a pretty good handle on it, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night one night and go, oh my God, I forgot this guy, or I forgot that. And, you know, so you make a mental note and jot it down, and then you kind of have to redo it all over again.
Yeah. If you forget your wife during a Hall of Fame induction speech,
no chance.
That's not a good thing.
No.
Right?
She was at the top of the list, for sure.
Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. Whether it's the Oscars,
right,
or the Hall of Fame, or whatever. Saving your family for last.
Yeah.
And you start kind of stressing a little bit about knowing you've got to hurry.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah, you hear the orchestra starting to play.
Yeah,
the man with the hook.
You better start early with the family.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, we didn't have the orchestra. I left family a little bit towards the end, but I wasn't going to forget them.
Bouncing ball left side. Turner cut it off. Scrambles to his feet and throws to first just in time to get Andrelton Simmons. Beautiful play by Turner to end the Atlanta 7th. It's raining, but the field's still playable. Great play by Turner at third, and we head to the 8th inning, where Atlanta leads the Dodgers 7-4 in Game 1 in Atlanta.
It's shaping up to be a good finish, even though it is raining. Braves with the lead. We ladies trying to keep our hair looking decent. Julie Stewart-Banks along with me. We got to hang out in Canada covering the Women's World Cup, and now you're covering the U.S. team, the men's team at the Gold Cup, and they're playing here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, the U.S. playing in the semifinals against Jamaica. They haven't really been tested a whole lot this tournament so far, and Jamaica will be a huge test because the last time they played them, it was them trying to make it to the 2014 World Cup. It was, you know, a very physical game, and they get to prove it again to try to get to the Gold Cup final.
How about Clint Dempsey? Hat trick in the last one, right?
I know. He's just, I mean, we've always known how good Clint Dempsey is, but even Jurgen Klinsmann said it last game that Clint is hungry for goals, and we want to keep feeding him. He has 2 more meals, so, you know, I think we'll see a lot more from him.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time in Atlanta. This is what, your 51st day away from home?
Yes, have not been in my apartment since May 31st. A little bit nutty, but it's games like this, seeing Dodgers, Braves, this is awesome. So, I mean, it's great to see you too, Jen.
Oh, well, it's great to have you here. Hope you do enjoy your time, and you guys can watch the U.S. in action in that semifinal in the Gold Cup that's coming up Wednesday. Coverage starts at 5:30 Eastern on FS1.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Julie. They did a great job during the Women's World Cup. I mean, they were just terrific. So we congratulate Jen and Julie on an excellent effort last month. And now Andrew McKirahan is in a big league game with the Braves for the first time since April 19th. That was when he faced Toronto. McKirahan, of course, suspended 80 games by Major League Baseball, was activated today, and his absence and Vizcaíno's absence due to suspension were really body blows for this Braves ball club. With the trade of Craig Kimbrell, that shortened up the Atlanta relief corps. And in April and May, Freddie Gonzalez and Roger McDowell were really scrambling and mixing and matching, trying to find combinations that could protect leads. And these 2 hard throwers were a big part of that. But they're both back, and the Braves bullpen has a dramatically different look now than it did even 3 weeks ago.
There have been some guys that have kind of come and gone too, like when Fultonevich showed up and pitched out of the bullpen for a few days. He was outstanding, just coming and blowing people away. He's back in Gwinnett starting, I believe, but he was very impressive. Vizcaíno gave up a run yesterday, his first one, I think, since he's been activated, and throwing 100 miles an hour. That's fun to watch.
Again, Atlanta has used 29 different pitchers this year. 29. Dodgers have used 26. They're in first place, though. Pretty remarkable. Tonight, Whistler and Frazier got in the game to the 8th. Adrian Gonzalez, a full count pitch. And he serves that one into center field for a leadoff single. Boy, he is some kind of hitter.
He is a professional hitter for sure.
Willing to give up the inside part of the plate to make sure he had the outer half covered. As a result, he gets jammed a little bit, but still big and strong. Base hit.
The rain, almost a misting rain now, as Turner digs in with a perfect night. And it's still perfect. He's 4 for 4. So McKirahan's been greeted rudely. Back-to-back hits, and the Dodgers will bring the tying run to the plate. But it won't be Andre Ethier. He's going to be called back, and it looks like Scott Van Slyke is going to come on and hit. Second 4-hit game for Mr. Turner this year.
Another part of their outfield puzzle expected to be activated during this series is Carl Crawford, who's been out and on the 60-day disabled list with a strained oblique. We may see him before the week is out.
And McCarrahan will not be allowed to see Scott Van Slyke. The Braves will go to the bullpen. And Andrew comes in, doesn't retire a man, gives up 2 hits. So the tying run comes to the plate for the Dodgers. Van Slyke versus a Braves reliever yet to be named. We'll see who it is after this.
New movie Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. In theaters everywhere July 24th.
Oh, you know Tom Glavine going to buy the first ticket to that movie. 7-4 is your score. 2 on, nobody out on a rainy night in Atlanta. Let's get back to our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Over the last 10 years, Adrian Gonzalez ranks 4th among active left-hand hitters with 276 homers. Who has the most? You said Ryan Howard, right?
Well, I don't want to double up here.
No, go ahead.
I'll go Ryan Howard.
I'll go Ortiz.
And I'll go Joey Votto. Ryan Howard is the answer.
We win.
That away, Joe.
We all won. David Ortiz 2nd, Prince Fielder 3rd, Curtis Granderson 5th.
Wow.
I forgot all about Prince.
And he missed a year, basically last year.
So Scott Van Slyke will face Arodys Vizcaíno. Van Slyke has played the outfield. He's played first base. And a ground ball to third. Tricky hop. It hit the lip of the grass. And Perez is going to bring it home. Throw to the plate. Is going to get his man. What a throw. Yuri Perez throws out Adrian Gonzalez at the plate for out number 1.
I don't know if Adrian's in disbelief with the throw or if he's mad at Puig for not helping him out at the plate. I didn't see whether he did or not, but this was a heck of a throw.
I think he's upset with his third base coach. Running him into an out.
Yeah, Puig was helping him.
An easy out when you're down by 3 runs. He's looking back, I think, at Lorenzo Bundy.
A perfect strike from Perez.
Outstanding play by Yuri.
And now you're a double play away from getting out of the inning. And Puig's up there 0 for 3 tonight.
That was going to be a double play ball until it hit the lip of the grass.
Popped up. Perez will surround this one in left. And Puig again jogs to first, carries the bat. He's the second out. And now Jimmy Rollins is the hitter. always have to be worried about Rollins, no matter his average. How many times has Jimmy Rollins come up big in big spots while facing the Braves? He scored 4 runs. He's hit a homer. He has an RBI against the Braves this year, but hitless tonight. All the way to the backstop. AJ had no chance on that 98-mile-an-hour pitch. A very wild pitch.
If this guy, is off even just a little bit, as hard as he throws, a catcher has no chance.
That's what you call hitting the bull right there. That wasn't very close to the target.
And John Hirschbeck's happy it didn't hit him in the calf.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes. And Ed Mangan. Is that a new rosin bag?
Yep. Yeah.
Two in scoring position for Rollins. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jimmy Rollins has more at bats against the Atlanta Braves than any other player except for Pete Rose.
Fly ball right. That should be handled by Markakis. He looks up into the rainy skies and makes the grab. The Dodgers ran themselves out of a potential big inning. Yuri Perez threw out Adrian Gonzalez at the plate, and that helps the Braves preserve a 3-run 8th inning lead.
Over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, widget, and more. Love widget. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Those pretty girls chopping away on a rainy night. 7-4 Atlanta. Chris Johnson will pinch hit for Vizcaíno here in the 8th. Then the top of the Atlanta order. Chris 243, a homer and 7 knocked in, and he took a strike. That missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's Pittsburgh 7, Kansas City 2, and Chris Medlin is pitching. He's in the game in relief tonight. Hope he pitches great. Even though Brandon Beachy tonight gave up 4 runs for the Dodgers in 4 innings. Great to have him back. And coming back from his second Tommy John tonight.
But what a huge coincidence, huh?
No kidding. Yeah.
They both suffer their second Tommy John tears 1 day apart and come back and pitch on the same day.
And a swing and a miss by Chris Johnson. There's out number 1. We go to Jace Peterson. He'll bat with the bases empty. Jace Peterson has batted with runners all over the place tonight. Boy, he's made the most of those chances.
Dropped this one right on the chalk with the bases loaded. And then raked this one into right field. That drove in a run and then ultimately provided another run when he hustled the second base and drew a throw. Bases are loaded, Jace.
I love it when you do that. That's great. Well, good to see him. Good to see Simmons have good nights at the plate, because those 2 men over extended periods of time have found hits hard to come by. And for a Braves club that doesn't have a lot of power, it has to be all hands on deck offensively. So Peterson 2 hits, Simmons 2 hits. Hamilton scored a couple of runs. Peterson's knocked in 3 runs. And the Braves have 11 hits in the game. Oh, 2.
Juan Nicasio's a big guy, 6'4", 250, out of San Francisco de Macorís, Dominican Republic. They got him from the Rockies last November.
And he's got to be the happiest guy in America to leave Coors Field and that pitching nightmare and go to arguably one of the best pitching parks in baseball, Dodger Stadium.
You're not going to get much bigger of a contrast than that.
One ball, 2 strikes as we approach 10 o'clock. And a roller out to Kendrick. Got the big hop. Good play. 2 outs.
You might remember it was Nicasio back in 2011 that suffered a broken neck when he was hit with a line drive back at him while with Colorado. Fortunately for him, he's been able to come back.
Tell you what, there are a lot of players who owe Marvin Miller a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid. How many players owe a debt to medical science?
A whole bunch.
20 years ago, that injury ends Nicasio's career. The Tommy John, the elbow surgeries, the shoulder surgeries. Guys just didn't come back. Now they can in many cases. And how fortunate are the Braves, really all the teams, to have such great medical practitioners on the staff. Jeff Porter and Jim Lovell, the Braves athletic trainers. And for the Dodgers, who deserves a ton of credit, Stan Conti, I believe is how his last name is pronounced, is doing all kinds of groundbreaking research on the causes and the prevention of Tommy John injuries.
Well, if he can figure that out, he's going to make a lot of money.
Yes, sir.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2. Looking ahead to the Dodger ninth. Barnes, the pitcher's spot, and Jock Peterson are scheduled. I presume Jim Johnson is up and throwing in the Braves bullpen. Did he go? Nope. There's Jim. Well, he's got a nice run going in relief. Fly ball left. And Van Slyke's got it. And that's the inning. Off we go to the ninth inning. Jim Johnson will try to nail it down for Matt Whistler. 7-4 Atlanta in front. Thursday, October 1st for a free post-game concert brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Tickets are going fast. Get them now at braves.com/concerts. And again, if you're not sure if you want to go or not, Chad Hartzog, our ace statistician, gave it 2 hot dogs up.
But would he give up 2 hot dogs to go?
Nope.
No.
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance. There's that streak for Jim Johnson I was talking about.
Well, it's the 3rd longest in baseball. Clayton Kershaw has one just slightly longer, and Zach Greinke is trying to close in on Orel Hershiser's all-time record.
Man, oh man, Greinke's going to ruin it for the pitchers. They're going to lower the mound again after that. After this year he's having.
By the way, Zach Greinke has the ability to opt out of his contract at the end of the year.
Well,
timing is everything.
Yes, it is.
And he is pitching great for the Dodgers. Johnson versus Barnes, and a strike is how the 9th inning begins. 7-4, Braves lead it. Atlanta trying to pick up a game on the Mets, who were just beaten by Washington 7-2 the final at Nationals Park.
Jim's only allowed 1 walk in his last 7 outings.
That's going to bound foul by Barnes. It's out of play, 1-2. Again, A.J. Ellis, the Dodger catcher, personal catcher for Clayton Kershaw. 15-day DL after he experienced tightness in his right knee on the team plane coming to Atlanta. Yasmani Grandal had to leave yesterday, taking a foul ball off his mask. So Barnes was called up, and he got the start tonight.
How many teams do you think have been would be able to do what the Braves have done this year? Trading away one of the best closers in the game the day before opening day. Have a guy like Jason Grilli step in and do what he did. What was he, 24 out of 26, something like that, in saves. Suffers a torn Achilles, and then have a guy the quality of Jim Johnson be the third guy in line. And I say that with all due respect. He's the next man up.
The Ohio State Buckeyes, maybe?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Maybe the only team that comes to mind is one that's in the history books, and that's the Astros when they had Lidge, Dotel, and Wagner lined up.
Yeah.
Or the Braves when they had Kimbrel and O'Flaherty and Johnny Vetters. Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, I don't think any of those teams have to have all of them close.
Right.
In the same year. You know, I know they at different points during their careers they all took over, but I mean these guys have all had to do it. You know, obviously not Kimbrel, but because they traded him, but Jason and Jim.
In the air to right, Markakis will play it safe with a big lead. And Barnes with an opposite field single has his second hit of the game. And here is the aforementioned Yasmani Grandal. Dodger Nation breathes a sigh of relief seeing Grandal able to at least swing the bat tonight. And he's having a terrific year.
About that on base percentage.
More homers than any other National League catcher, 14 of them. Hitting .360 in July. .299 on the road. And a first-time All-Star, one of 31 men this year to be named first-time All-Stars in the National and American Leagues.
It was one of those rare big deals between division rivals that occurred this winter between the Padres and the Dodgers that brought Grandal here. Matt Kemp, one of the principals that went the other way.
Matt Kemp, Tim Fedorovich, and a whole lot of cash to cover some of Matt Kemp's salary. That deal made right before Christmas, December 18th last year. Grandal originally a Cincinnati Red #1 pick. 1-2 pitch. That's a base hit the other way. So back-to-back hits for the Dodgers. And now it gets a little more interesting than we had hoped, because Peterson, Kendrick, and Gonzalez are coming up, and those three men represent the tying run. And Peterson's hit 20 bombs.
Well, got the ground ball he wanted there, but just found a hole. See if we can get another one here at somebody.
Yeah, playing up the middle for double play depth. Gave him a big hole to shoot for on the left side.
When Peterson hits him, he hits him a long way. His average home run distance, 431 feet. That's his average. What Johnson wants is a ground ball at somebody here.
Well, that fly ball he hit to left that Perez made the good catch on the wall. It was a high pitch, and he just used his hands to flip the barrel at the ball. You can see how he holds his hands very low to start.
Ground ball, that's through for a base hit. Barnes will be stopped at third. Wow. Looked like he would have been able to score easily. The Braves were conceding the run there.
Ball hadn't even gotten to Markakis' glove.
And 3 straight singles as the bases loaded for Los Angeles and nobody out.
Obviously in Bundy's defense, that runner at third base doesn't mean anything right now, but Barnes was already at third base, had hit third base, and the ball was still rolling.
Well, he obviously wasn't going to get another one thrown out.
No. Especially with this part of the order coming up.
Kendrick has hit into 11 double plays, second most on the Dodger team. There's number 12, it would appear. There's one. There's two. A run is in. It's 7-5, but two are out. No RBI, the penalty for the double play. And Grandal at third base. Two outs. It's 7-5, and now Gonzalez the hitter.
Well, got a fastball to hit.
He did. He got away with one there. He's given up some hits on a couple other pretty good pitches, and then got one there, caught a little bit more of the plate he wanted, and got the result he wanted. So a little bit of good luck there.
Gonzalez tied it in the fifth with a long homer. Down and in, ball one. Three straight Dodger hits and then a double play ball is played at a ninth inning run. Ground ball to first. And that's going to be your ball game. Braves beat the Dodgers 7-5 in game one. Matt Whistler earns his fourth victory. And the Braves broke out the bats tonight. 7 runs on 11 hits. And a good start to this series with Los Angeles. Nick Markakis hit his first home run of the season. And the Braves kept on adding on. Big innings in the 4th, 5th, and 6th decided the affair tonight. 7-5 your final. Braves beat the Dodgers. Back to recap for you after this.